I'll throw out some names. When you hear your name, signify if you are here or not. Allison Bryan,
Here.
Derek Goodwin,
Here.
Julie Rollins.
Here.
We know that Katie's not here. John McMahon. Here. Jack DiLorenzo. Here. And Tim Bernica is here. Excellent. Okay, so we have 6 bodies. Let's take a look here. Meeting minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look at the meeting minutes that Ted and Ryan sent around to us? For those of us that are here, they're in front of us. For those of you on the phone, you should have gotten them in your emails. And does anybody have any commentary on any of those meeting minutes? I do.
Some updates, right? We're gonna talk about tonight, but
Yep, we're gonna get into that. Sounds like no one does, so can I get a motion to approve the last 3 months of meeting minutes?
so move.
Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, excellent. Okay. Let's see. Here. Right, that over there. Okay, next, town project updates. All right, so here's what I know with town project updates. I did a little snooping on the select board meeting last night. And I had actually emailed with Michelle Leary yesterday. And she had said she might be able to join us tonight, but I don't think she was able to. So I will tell you what she told me, and that is we are moving ahead. We are her exact words were, I don't want to speak for her, I want to speak what she said. And they are actively engaged with Activitas. And the all 3 projects are going to be started. I'm talking about the Beechwood Playground and basketball courts and the tennis courts by July 1. The story I heard last night when I listened to the select board meeting is that they are they found some possible wetlands issues with the lacrosse wall down at Sawyer Street. So that is probably going to, it had already been planned on taking a bit of a backseat in terms of timing because we didn't want to disrupt summer camp, summer playground. So it was not gonna start at July 1 like the other projects. But now I think there needs to be a little, either an additional survey or additional work to be done to properly site it, to site the wall. So that's going to probably bump a little bit later. But there was no mention of any particular start date or time frame on that. So I don't have an answer on that.
That's quick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very, yeah, it's not a 6-week project by any stretch, so.
Well, first of all, we can put it up in the back field behind the school, because there's no way they're gonna build a new school there. They're not gonna get the money from the town, from the state, so. Crazy.
True.
Well, we're saving up for the new school, yeah, good luck. We were gonna build a totally new school when we did the additions. We got nothing. Peanuts.
The controversy reigns over additions and
Yeah.
new construction and what have you. So that's what I know about projects. I did also hear that along with the 2 things that were discussed at the select board meeting last night regarding the tennis courts were, number 1, they're gonna leave the current retaining wall in place and build a new retaining wall in front of it. So on the tennis court side, you know, in the actual footprint of the tennis court, so that that will a few things. It's cheaper than the demolition of the old wall and reconstruction of the wall, and it's also it saves any disruption of Milliken Field. There'll be no tearing down of any of the grass and you know, keeping people away from a distance. So it's all gonna take place on the footprint of the tennis court. It will
Cut down playing
obviously,
space, right?
huh?
It would cut down playing space, wouldn't it?
You would think it would cut down playing space, but the rule is they need, and I may have this wrong, they need 12 feet of clearance beyond the baseline, and they currently have 18.
Okay,
So there's still gonna be plenty of like legal
right.
room beyond the baseline. It just won't be as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I have those numbers right. So that's going on, and then additionally. It was decided that if the town wanted to add as an option in the bids or the request for bids, the construction of 2 pickleball courts. It was voted at the meeting last night that the town would add that to their request for bids. So, and they're gonna be cited as all of the previous plans that we have seen have them. So if I'm looking at the entrance on, kind of the corner of Norfolk and Bancroft, if I go to the far side, if I go all the way down to where the kind of the cut through path is to head over to Old Pasture over there and heading towards the schools, it's down that end. So they're gonna look at what the cost is. The thought process last night was, well, if we save some money on the retaining wall, maybe we can use some of those savings to put in a couple pickleball courts. So we'll see what, there were no hard numbers, so I don't know any actual dollar amounts for anything yet, but I think those are coming. Because they actually had their most recent meeting, according to the select board meeting last night, the most recent meeting with Activitas was last Friday. So that's, 5 days ago.
So a couple meetings ago, they told me they loved the idea that I had, which was buying the indoor place and putting pickleball courts in there, but they never followed through. And the guy was,
Great place.
I talked to him, he said, absolutely, they make me the right offer, and it's theirs.
Great, no, I
He's
agree.
getting older and older, doesn't want to be around. But nothing, so our last meeting, when I asked them that, they said, oh, yeah, they got paid. Yeah, that sounds like their last.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Hey,
That's-
Tim,
yeah.
it's Julie. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Was it clear at the select board meeting whether or not they were discussing adding 2 pickleball courts or transforming one of the tennis courts into 2 pickleball courts? I'm just wondering if they're talking about losing a tennis court
Oh, no.
or adding.
Additional only. That was the concept, is that Activitas had basically, if you remember the most recent plans that we saw, which
Yeah.
I guess are, they might be 6 or 8 months old now. They were additional to the courts that were gonna be, the tennis courts that were gonna stay. And so those were gonna be down the end, kind of an extra room at the end that they were gonna clear out, and put the pickleball courts in.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Tim.
So that's where that stands, and they did engage the Beechwood community and the Cohasset community at large on what they were looking for in the playground situation at Beechwood. And I guess they gave the kids a decent variety of apparati. You know how you say apparatuses, apparati? So they gave them a decent number of apparati to choose from. And they came up with some interesting ones, so it was pretty good. They talked about what they're gonna have, kind of the swing aspect, the jungle gym aspect, the immersive tunnel aspect, where you can kind of play with things on either side as you're walking through, like little things you can twist and turn. So it looked pretty cool, and it was good that the kids got to weigh in, so that kind of satisfied it brought to reality the idea of engaging the community and making sure that the kids had a say. So that's pretty good. So those are those plans, and so yeah, that's gonna start this summer. So we will see where that gets us. So that's it. That's what I know about town project updates. And then we have the rec fair recap. The only thing I know about the rec fair is that it was enjoyable because I was there. It was a success. All I could call it was a success. The farmer's market, I thought, was literally the greatest thing that we've done in terms of that fair in years. Adding in the various, and this year they added even more things than they had last year. I mean, I'm over there buying gin soaked olives. They had for sale at the pickle place. I mean, come on, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then they had, they had baked goods, they had everything. So it was, I'm sure, well, I know for a fact, because I ran into Derek and Julie, they were there, and Jack. So, you guys know how great it was. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was very well, it's unbelievably well attended,
Oh,
judging
yeah.
from the cars.
I think it's turned into it's where I have to go to sign up for camp to actually, so
Yeah.
then I wanna go to.
I think that's right. So what's kind of funny, John was saying that, it's become an event versus just like, oh man, I have to go stand in line for camp now, camp registration. And so what was funny is when I was getting a coffee from the two women that run that, oh man, I
We'll
wish I
start with
remembered.
the van outside.
Yeah, the little van, the little Westfala van, awesome place, lady, oh, shoot, I should know this.
It's gonna be.
It's
gonna be in
yeah, it's gotta be. But anyways, they were talking about it and they said,
Lady Sunshine.
Lady Sunshine. They said, they were explaining to, the people in front of me, they were like, oh, yeah, Cohasset does a little different where you have to sign up in person. So it becomes this thing and that's how, and I kind of piped up and I'm like, well, we did enter the 21st century recently. And, what we do is, this is like ask your questions and make sure you get everything squared away. And so,
Get the beach sticker.
yeah, right. So yeah, that was the thing. It's like now it's graduated from, oh, I gotta make sure I have my kids' headshots and their immunization records in this folder that I'm gonna turn in. It's turned from that into like, hey, this is a fun community event. Let's go check it out.
Yeah.
So that was another grand slam and I hopefully, and by the way, bringing the health component back, I was like, well, forget about the health component. If they don't want in, they can, whatever. But bringing them back was awesome. Everybody loved that. I saw so many people engaging with, all of it. Never mind just like, brushing past and going to, the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or the Raids. It was just well attended, people engaged with basically every presenter in every group. So I thought it was great.
And every year the gym gets better. I mean, they have some great stuff in there.
Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
another great one, another feather in the cap for the rec department, so that's good. And now we have summer program updates, of which I don't have any. Ryan, do you know anything about the summer program?
Yeah, they're all kicked off officially now. Summer basketball registration started on the 1st.
Yes, let's start there because that's your baby. Let's go with that. Start there.
Yep, so the registration is pretty much as it typically is. A lot of people won't start registering, even the regulars won't start registering until they know that the price is gonna go up another 25 bucks. And then that's when you'll see a bigger cascade of registrations will be at the end of this month leading into the higher priced area, but I'm actually very encouraged so far about our registrations with our girls grades 3 and 4 and our girls 5, 6 and our 7th grade girls as well. Those are our two highest registered. I think last I checked, I think right before I left the rec center was 28 and 30 for
Wow.
each of those.
Nice.
So that's always fantastic to see that that's going to be filled up and that
Yeah.
we're gonna be able to provide a really nice, strong girls program again.
That's great.
And out of town registrations actually opened up today. We got one so far from Hingham, which is a return from last year, which is a late addition to include out of town
Yeah.
registrations last year. So it's good to see. And I'm anticipating still more from Situate parents that called at the end of last year, more Hingham. I'm
Yeah.
assuming are gonna stop by. They were actually at the rec fair. A couple different parents stopped by the table and asked about it too. So
That's great.
no, good. And yeah, the other side, the boys, all 4 of their programs are gonna take off very soon. But yeah, very encouraged.
Awesome. How about playground? Anything on playground?
Yeah,
Just it sold out at like
just
2
yeah,
seconds.
normal, 2
51
minute,
seconds.
yeah, normal sales.
Yeah.
Had a parent check in today about, the wait list, and there's been some movement, but we can't make definitive decisions quite yet. I think they're still working through bringing in people that got waitlisted for 2 instead of just getting into 1 or the other, so we want to get someone placed into at least 1 session, then we have to go back, see what the numbers look like per group, per age, per counselor, group. to see if there's any more flexibility for different age groups. But the question was, how is it possible that I got waitlisted within 1 minute? I go, well, I can tell you within 4 minutes, 300 people tried to register for one program. It's just, it does just go. So yeah, it's slow movement on the waitlist front, but things have happened since our registration date, which is good.
Good.
And not as much mayhem as a result of last year's t-shirt size, whatever it was, that was just, that was nutty. And then doing also the registration half hour after the fair ended was very beneficial to certainly the people that wanted to attend in town, but to us as well. Gave us time to really prepare for it.
Good.
Playground's good, Extreme's been going well, we just, yeah, just checking in on waivers, we're just nitty gritty stuff at this point, that's, yeah.
I got the key for rainy days.
All right.
What for,
Rainy days for
yeah,
basketball.
we'll try to avoid that like the plague, it is so gross in there that I've set up my schedule now to have at least 6 full days of makeups to account for us, hopefully not having
the
to
end.
use the gym.
Yeah.
So it's just not nice in there. It's cool because like the little kids that get to play in there, they love
Oh, they must love
the
it, yeah.
atmosphere, but yeah, it's not ideal.
Nice.
Hey,
Alright,
Ryan,
so-
question. Do you happen to know how many people are on the wait list for Playground?
Off the top of my head, I know session 1 is still around like 26 to 28. Second session I didn't look at today, even though they're right next to each other. I only happened to click on the first session. Might be the same, it might be a shade less. I don't think it's anything more, so I'll say between 15 and 30 for each.
Okay, thanks.
So that's summer. It's good. We're on a good trajectory there. That's good stuff. Okay, how about some committee reports? Derek, do you have anything on the harbor committee?
Sorry, having issues with the mute button. Yeah, nothing crazy new. We're just glad to participate. I know the Harbor Committee is glad to participate in the rec fair, which was incredible. And they were very thankful for the posting the survey in the recent calendar that went out. Thus far for the recreation survey, they've gotten well over 300 responses. I'd hate to prematurely, identify any trends, but one thing that keeps popping up is the appeal of having a kayak or canoe rental or a stand-up paddleboard rental service on the harbor, which is interesting from a recreation perspective. And the only other thing to mention was during the rec fair, I was next to Frank Townsend of CMI, and he offered up if we ever. I mean, I know it'd be next to impossible to coordinate, but he said he'd love to get everybody out to do a team building exercise on the harbor and show off the facility. But that was, like I said, that might be really hard to coordinate.
That's a good offer, though. Awesome. Good stuff. John, anything on open space?
April 27th, 92,
All right.
day cleanup.
2 on 27. Okay. All right. Did anything ever come of our man with the floating walkway?
He came in like incredibly prepared
Yeah, yeah,
and, lots
It
of,
was just tabled by the group.
yeah, I mean, we sort of kept it on a list of, things, projects we'd love to get to, but I think everyone's a little intimidated by it. Yeah. Being honest.
What is that?
So, a guy in town, a resident in town came and asked a question about, putting in a, kind of a flexible walkway on Little Harbor across from the entrance to Sandy Beach. With the idea being is that at low tide, those mud flats are like gross mud flats where you can't walk on them and you can't do it, whatever. So the idea would be is like kind of the thing would kind of float
Oh, I see.
and then kind of like sink.
Oh, okay.
And like sort of like sit on top of the mud and you could like walk on planks
Wow.
to get, or, to get to the water. That was his idea. He's very well prepared. He's
Yeah.
gotten, he's done research on it in like New Jersey and some other
Yeah.
places.
Well, and it works, right, with the town of Sticker at Sandy Beach, you just walk right across the street.
Right, and everything everything the guy's talking about makes sense, right? So it's like, yeah, okay, just go, we can go park at Sandy Beach and then walk across the way with your, your kayak or whatever you wanna do, and just walk down to so,
It feels true to the mission, it just,
yeah,
I think people are intimidated by the.
the complexity of it. Yeah,
Very interesting though.
yeah, it is.
And parking.
Right, well, and that would be the idea, is you'd have to make sure there was spots over at Sandy, so that you could go over, right, so.
But I would say 99.
Yeah, you
9% of the time, there's probably stuff that goes, it's almost like the spots at Wampatuck or at the train station, right? There's like 15 that kind of, by the rail there, and actually the last ones to get taken for beach days.
Good point. Yep, you're right. Okay, Allison, anything on Safe Harbor at the moment?
Also on the 27th is National Drug Take Back Day. So when you're going to clean up, you can bring your unused prescriptions back to the Cohasset Police Department. They are going to have a table at Mosaic Night on the 11th at the middle school. And April 22nd, there's an open coalition meeting at 11 o'clock and it's on Zoom this month.
Okay.
And lastly, April 30th is Overdose Prevention Night. And that is, I believe, going to be held at East Coast Recovery from 6 to 7.
All right, that's good stuff. A lot of information. Nice. Okay, Julie, how about anything on sidewalks?
Yeah, actually, Tim, I was going to ask you if at the select board meeting last night, or if you were listening to the one prior to that, if they talked at all about the paving plan and the sidewalk proposal. Did that come up at all?
May have, I did not hear it for what I was watching, so it may have. I tried to tune in, it's kind of a long story, but, the Lightkeepers Corporation, on whose board I serve.
Oh, yes, I saw on the stroll. I loved it.
Yes, so we are trying to bring back a cookout post the Memorial Day festivities on the harbor. And they did this from 1998 to 2007. It was pretty well attended, pretty popular. It took a lot of work and it just kind of petered out. So we're trying to it's the 30th anniversary. We're trying to get it back on board. I put an application in about a month ago. I heard nothing. And then I was checking the agenda for the select board meeting. I was contacted by nobody. And I checked the agenda for the select board meeting and it was on the agenda. So
Wow.
I'm scrambling to try and find it and I tuned in late and whatever. So I went to the recording today and I listened to the whole, skimmed around to various pieces. And nothing on the Lightkeepers and also nothing on sidewalks. So
Got it.
it's
Got it.
a long
Okay.
way of saying I was not there for the entire ordeal, but I did try and I did not hear anything on sidewalks.
Got it. Oh, okay. Well, as you were talking, I got an update. I texted a friend to ask if it passed or not. So we did present a paving, sidewalk, and safety and traffic calming measure proposal. We submitted it to the select board and it did pass. It was approved, which is great. And something that I think for this committee that we'd all be interested in is one thing that we're planning to do is to have sharrows painted on a lot of our roads where we share the roads with walkers and bikers. And I'm not sure if you guys know what sharrows are. I learned recently that they are arrows that designate to drivers that you are sharing the road with walkers and bikers. You know, you've seen them probably in other towns. It's like a picture of like an arrow or maybe a bike, and those get painted on the roads. And we're planning to put those in a number of places in town, just to remind drivers that they are sharing the road with other people. And it's a pretty low cost way of calming traffic. We also put in some funds for some more speed signs and other items to try to calm drivers down a little bit. We also, our group met with Officer, the chief of the police department, and did a walk around the new harbor area, and we were successful in getting them all to agree to put in a bike lane that will run around the harbor area. So that was a benefit too, and those sorts of things relate to this commission. So that's why I thought I'd mention them. But the meetings are going well. We're meeting every couple of weeks, and it seems like we're finally making some traction.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of traction.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's not a little
You know,
traffic.
it takes, you know how things in Cohasset, as you guys have we've talked about it takes a really long time to get things going. And it seems like we're now finally getting some traction on this, and people are actually getting behind it and realizing that we need our roads to be a little safer and our sidewalks to be better. So South Main Street's going to be paved, the sidewalks are going to be redone, a beautiful new sidewalk going in on sections of Beechwood where there is no sidewalk now. And we have we're also requesting engineering plans for a brand new sidewalk between 3A and King Street, which is something that I care a lot about. And what you were talking about before with the floating path or boardwalk, that's something that we're considering as part of the new sidewalk, possibly on this stretch of Pond Street, because that's where we have wetland area, or there's like a conservation area right there on the side of 3A. And that's one way we can get around the conservation issues, is if we put in a boardwalk there. And so that's something that we're moving on too. So it's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, other good
Yeah.
stuff.
Good job.
Oh,
Usually it's on the agenda for 4 or 5 months.
yeah, exactly.
I know.
All right, hey, so Ryan, you want to give us your run, throw your pitch out for the sponsorship of the basketball? In
Yeah,
case
so,
anybody knows any businesses or families that might be interested.
yeah, it's actually it went well in the beginning, got a few inquiries. I think I have 3 families that are willing to do what's considered to be a courtside sponsor, so they just have a lawn sign with a thank you with their family's names and the individuals that like to be thanked on it. And they get thanked on our nightly schedule postings as well. So we have a couple of those in hand, ready to go. John Borbeau from Pacer Partners in town here, he has an office down in the village, opted into one of our jersey sponsorships. So that's fantastic. He's always a great supporter of the program. Alex Viteri just opted into one of the scoreboard runners for the year. He's also been a big, tremendous help to me over the last couple of years as well. Still in discussions with our big, real key contributor the last couple of years, Joe Lamberti. He just kind of wanted to offer the opportunity for other people to jump in before kind of, grabbing hold of all the jerseys like he has the last couple of years. So he's been very gracious in that, and he's been a huge help and support to the program and the growth that I think that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you to everyone so far, and I'm gonna keep bugging you, and yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody knows any families that are interested in sponsoring summer basketball, or any businesses that might want to be probably put the touch on, we could use that. So that'd be great if anyone knows anybody. I don't know, somebody working at a flower shop in the village, or a flower shop in town, and maybe might want to get their name on something.
There you go.
And then what about Taylor Swift? Let's get
Yeah.
everybody to talk about this.
Yeah, so we're hosting a Taylor Swift album release party on Friday, April 19th. Over April vacation, which is pretty cool to host something like that. Claudia Streppel is a mom in town. She helps out with the rec department. She hosts a great arts and crafts style program with us, and it's very sought after, so. She has amazing ideas. She brought this to me after I tried to host something for an entire week over that April vacation. She gave me the no thank you on that, but came back a couple days later with this idea for one day. And definitely thankful. It should be a lot of fun. It's for grades 2 through 6, $25 a ticket. Bracelet making, face painting, glitter and fairy hair. I'm not sure what that is exactly. I'm sure I know what glitter is. That is all over my house. But the fairy hair, I'm not sure what that is. That sounds pretty cool. Painted rocks, and then I'm throwing together some T-Swift trivia, pizza, desserts, refreshments. But yeah, just sit there. We're gonna have activities going, different stations with the fun stuff that we listed, and just listen to her new album in its entirety, and just have a fun day on April
That's really
vacation.
fun. That's a
Yeah.
nice idea.
Yeah, and we have, I think the last I checked, I think we're at 12 or 14, which is good, and that's a
That's a good
great,
number.
that's a great number to
Yeah.
have a week before it's
Yeah.
Right.
actually gonna happen, because again, the last second stuff, that's just kind of run of the mill around here, so the fact
Yeah.
that we got that many to sign up that quickly is really nice to see, so we're excited about hosting that as well.
Awesome.
Hey, Ryan, what's the age on that?
Grades 2 to 6.
2 to 6? That's awesome. I have a feeling
Grades, not age, if you heard, it's the grades 2 to 6, so is that 8 to?
yeah, grades
12,
2 to 6.
13? Yeah,
I think I might have a gaggle of girls who'd like to join.
come all, more the merrier, we're ready. Bring it
All right,
on.
awesome.
Let's
Thank you.
go. Yeah,
I do have a question.
What do you got, Jack?
Where do we stand on the town and our facilities and the usage of it and all the rest of the questions that were coming up? They were taking over this and taking over that.
So, I don't, I don't have an answer as to what happened last night. There's conflicting reports. All right, I know this. The idea was that if, and again, this is all subject. If, 1 Pleasant Street was going to be on the town meeting ballot, and if it did not pass, and if there was no movement on town hall, old town hall being upgraded for safety, then they would need to take the rec center by October 1st. That's what I was told. However, I don't know where any of that stands. What I read was that it is off the table. 1 Pleasant Street is off the table. Re-engaging with the town over the original, the old town hall, and doing some manner of renovation / fix up, and just kind of leaving it, not turning it into a $40 million knockdown and build up, but just more like, let's just make this nicer. That was floated. I don't know what the actual outcome of that was. I didn't hear any votes or see any votes or any specific things from anybody, so I can't say exactly what happened. But in terms of our involvement in this, it was going to be, well, if we don't have room, if we're out of town hall and we don't have room, we're gonna need to take room. I think it's still to be determined. So we don't have a definitive answer yet, and I don't know if we will after June 8th, because June 8th is the election. I don't know if we have an answer after that. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't heard a word about it.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't have a good answer on that. I do know that, the plan, those have been the plans. And, Michelle did say that, the plans are as they were. It was, the quote was, oh, sorry, it's not October 1, it's September 1. The last we talked, we indicated if the plan for 1 Pleasant Street does not move forward, we would likely have to take control of the rec center September 1st. And again, that's all subject to, is it still happening? Is it not still happening? What, all of that, so. Stay tuned, I guess.
So we'll know at the end of August.
Okay, we'll know on
The last
August
day of
31st.
August.
We'll know on August 31st when they say, by the way, you have to be on tomorrow.
The Friday at 5 PM press conference.
It'll be exactly right.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure, isn't September 1 like a Friday? Oh, no, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
So make sure you're out by Sunday morning at 8 AM of Labor Day weekend.
Yeah,
So anyways, that's where that stands, Jack. I wish I had a better answer.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know, hadn't seen it, so I didn't know what's going on.
So that's all I have. I don't know if anybody has anything else. Anybody want to throw anything out? I don't have any other news. Ted is away, for those who did not know, Ted is in California.
Gee, what a surprise.
If he's not here, he tends to be in California.
That's
so
right.
That's where he is right now. So, that's why he's not here, but, I'm sure he's with us in spirit. So the next meeting, I believe, our next meeting is, May eighth, I believe, because that would be the second Wednesday.
Yep,
So
right
May 8th
on here.
is supposed to be the day. So until then, I will see everybody, not before, I will see you on May 8th.
see us.
So, yeah, we-
27th, you're gonna see, you know.
Actually, if
27th, then you gotta
yeah,
go
even-
do
even-
the
even closer.
drop off prescription drugs and.
Closer, that's what I'll see. So I need a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to adjourn.
Okay, second, there we go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, hey, thank you guys for calling in.
Sorry I couldn't be there in person. Good to talk to everyone.
Same here.
You're missing some excellent donuts that Jack brought.
Oh, no.
Cannolis, donuts tonight.
Ah.
Oh, sad to miss it.
All right,
All
cannolis
right.
next time.
We'll see you guys.
Bye, you
Right,
guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.